In case you're unfamiliar, Caleb Hammer is the new generation's Dave Ramsey, and he hosts a podcast or YouTube channel called Financial Audit. He invites a bunch of guests who are coming to him for financial advice when they are in crisis. And most of these people are evidently delusional about their finances. They oftentimes have no idea how much money they're making, spending, they're not paying their taxes, they're in huge amounts of debt. They're spending like crazy on like Disney fast passes. They live their entire lives for Funko Pops and DoorDash and Grubhub. And he is just having honest conversations with them, calling them out when they deserve to be called out. Most of the time, these guests try to argue with him and tell him that he's actually wrong. And they're the special, different kind of poor person who clearly has no way out of their situation. And they're just hopelessly delusional.
Yeah, he's waiting. Like, if one day he's gonna be like, yeah, you're screwed.
Like, you're the one special person that I found on this planet who couldn't possibly do anything to escape their financial ruin.
Olivia loves to listen to Caleb Hammer.
It's basically the whatever podcast for, like, the people who hoe themselves out to the financial system.
The way I see it is none of these guests they all have to have some type of humiliation fetish. Like, there's no other explanation.
At least some of them are in it for the clout, of course.
It has to be, because it's like, if the idea here was like you were going on there to get actual financial advice, that might be true, but none of them take the advice. So unless they take the advice, you must just be there so that, you know, Caleb can smack you and call you a bad boy.
Right.
Or girl.
So naturally, this genre of content is right-wing coded because he is promoting fiscal responsibility, which is something so few people on the left understand and see merit in. And now Caleb Hammer is facing a bunch of backlash for allegedly being a right-wing dog whistle, being a Yahtzee. And here is his response to someone saying, Caleb Hammer is the Dr. Phil of finance, all blustery right-wing sensationalism and disdain for his guests. He said, bruh, I literally just tell people to spend less than they make, pay off bad debt, and talk a little tea. I guess I'm a Nazi. And here were some other responses to him echoing this sentiment. I've always thought Caleb Hammer's content was weird and subtly right-wing, but I never wanted to say it because he has such a huge fan base. But all of this stuff coming out just makes so much sense.
Any amount of personal responsibility is right-wing coded. Anything where you can't blame somebody else is right-wing coded. If he was to tell you that student loan debt forgiveness is a bad idea, it's right-wing coded.
A self-proclaimed...
Granted, I don't know if he's ever said that. But.
A self-proclaimed libtard even said, I'm really surprised I don't see more right-wing accounts posting about Caleb Hammer, because as a libtard, nothing radicalizes me more to the right than Caleb Hammer's show. People are grown-ass adults and think having insane credit card debt is chill and normal. And another response to Caleb Hammer said, he is rapidly learning from interviewing hundreds of guests who have zero self-control over their lives and blame everything on society, that not being a total degenerate who contributes nothing to civilization is inherently right-wing coded. Watching his videos and seeing so many self-described liberals and progressives make the worst possible life choices and then blame society for their destructive choices is like taking the red pill all over again.
Like, I really do think it's like not even like necessarily financial literacy being right-wing coded, but not blaming somebody else for your financial failure is right-wing coded.
True.
So there's, look, George Soros is plenty financially literate. We talked about that last night on IRL with all the 501c3s and the 501c4s. That is part of it in a certain way, but I think a big part of it is like you're waiting for the guest on there who's like, you know what? Yeah, like I messed up big time. I gotta get this show on the road.
That would be a boring podcast to watch, though.
Well, that's the point, right?
But, I mean, I think that's why a lot of people responded negatively to Oliver Anthony back when he put out his song, Rich Men North of Richmond. You know, it's blaming these rich men and politicians for his ruin and his problems.
I mean, even then, and it's pretty right-wing coded to hate politicians.
Even a right-wing coded response to that song would say, Perhaps, yes, you are correct that politicians and ultra wealthy elites are contributing to the problems that you're facing. However, it does you no good to ruminate over that resentment. You have to ultimately take responsibility for yourself to the extent that you can to make the best life that you can possibly live.
Focus on solutions rather than but the thing is like
it's like having agency is incredibly right-wing these days.
But it got thrown into the political sphere. Like, look, the whole point here is that you talk about these things. So it's again, it would be a boring show if everybody was just like, you know,
humble.
But the thing is, then they went to like the Republican debate and they debated rich men north of Richmond, and
cringe.
and I literally almost keeled over and died
so bad.
from cringe. It's bad, man.
So Caleb Hammer is also being criticized for the types of guests that he chooses to interview on his show, including a recent episode from this week where he interviewed 2 illegal immigrants who admitted on YouTube that they are illegal immigrants. And Mike Cernovich responded to it saying, if you watch the full show, you'll learn that illegal immigrants get paid cash, don't pay taxes, and run up credit card bills. Your entire life has been upended for this. You're called cruel for wanting them to go home. Just say no to the emotional blackmail. A response to Cernovich said Caleb Hammer's show is not at all political, but he is turning millions of young people right-wing just by interviewing scammers and deadbeats about their finances. And these 2 illegal immigrants from Phoenix are $420,000 in debt, have no serious plans of paying it off. They say they deserve a new Toyota Tacoma. Caleb Hammer ended the interview after they refused to make substantial changes. And the man in the couple works in construction and makes about $6,000 a month. He admitted that he pays little to no taxes. So Caleb Hammer called the interview short at that point. He also did a recent interview with a woman who is morbidly obese, and that entered into the discussion.
$6,000 a month is like good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
But somehow they ended up like nearly $500,000 in debt and have
That's
zero plans of
insane.
paying it off, and we have to bear the brunt of their irresponsibility. And, you know, this is another subject that gets people fired up, is whether you have responsibility over your health. And that came up in this episode where he is interviewing this woman that is morbidly obese about her health, and she probably has medical expenses associated with it. Caleb Hammer admittedly says, I'm overweight too, but I'm dieting. I'm trying to take control of that situation.
Yep.
I'll f me up some Denny's, don't get me wrong.
I'm with you on that, bro.
So true.
I can tell, yeah.
Okay, you're fatter than me. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's either spending $500 on Ozempic, so do you want me to do that?
You could just diet like I am. I'm down like 16 pounds.
I'm
Go off, King.
diagnosed with PCOS and a binge eating disorder, so
So you're saying you
kind of
can't
hard.
diet?
I mean, it's very hard.
It's hard for everyone to.
Olivia told me, I remember we watched this clip where this lady said a therapist told her she couldn't have a boss. I know Olivia's in the chat. She'll know what I'm talking about. She's like, my therapist said that I can't have a boss. And he's like, what?
Lose weight.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it isn't, but it is still hard to lose weight.
Okay, so die at fucking 45.
This is also right-wing coded.
Yes. Being like, okay, well, what do you want? They're like, okay, so you have this whatever letter disease. Do you want to die? You don't want to die, so you better do something about it.
You have to choose eventually, and the people who don't make that ultimate choice do die younger.
Look, this is something that like I am down 20 pounds this year, and that is like through choices of my own where it's like, would I like to just eat like a slob every day? Yes, I would. I just eat like a slob in less serious fashion, less food, cut out soda, cut out sugary drinks of all that stuff. Would I like to be able to still do that stuff all the time? Sure. But I also...
It's easier for you because you're a white man and because, you don't have PCOS and a binge eating disorder and ARFID. And
well, I
live in a
don't have those
food
things because
desert.
I haven't gone to a doctor to be to be diagnosed with it.
And he also interviews a couple. They are two high school friends that fell out of touch. According to their story, the man rescued this woman from the streets. She is unemployed and talked him into moving out of the U.S. now that she is ready to settle down. And in this interview, they talk about why they hate America and why they're planning to leave. So here is their conversation. They could not explain
An
why.
actual plan? here, or is it a wham wham? I hate the America.
I mean, I wouldn't say that.
They're the most annoying people on the planet, just like first glance.
If you're listening to this podcast, this guy has the most infuriating facial hair.
His handlebar mustache is going so far up his face that it's touching the lenses of his glasses.
With a full beard, like.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would.
wouldn't say that.
I would.
I mean,
What do you hate?
Like literally everything about America.
Let's get a couple specifics.
All right.
Because everything's a lot.
The healthcare industry.
Okay. Yeah.
I
What about
I
it?
know that I have like so many undiagnosed conditions.
You guys
that
make
run in
well.
my
Okay, you're not
family.
married, but at $90,000 a year, I mean, you guys get pretty top end
Yeah.
healthcare.
I
As a
have
combined.
not been able to take advantage of that.
You guys
so
aren't
far.
married.
Yeah,
You're not on
I
his
can't get
health
on my
plan.
healthcare.
Exactly.
But even still, you making $0, the welfare state that we have, you get a pretty robust coverage still.
Yeah, if you're not making any money, like you can be on that end.
We
of
have
the
the
healthcare.
best healthcare
Yeah.
on the planet in this country.
I mean, they're
Have
currently
you applied? What have you applied to? What health insurance do you have right now?
None.
That's your fault. The Affordable Care Act is there for you at the healthcare.gov for you to enroll in things that are completely subsidized.
I mean, I've been trying to get you to apply
Well,
to stuff.
This sounds like a you
That's-
problem. You're complaining about something that you haven't done. Don't get me wrong. Health insurance in this country is ridiculously expensive. You're not going to get me defending it by any means. But when you take an idiotic stance of it's bad, but I've done nothing, it's like, what the f am I going to say? You're going to make me sound like I'm the most roo-roo. Yay, let's charge $1 billion constantly. But for what it's worth, remember, if you can afford it, we do have the best health care in the world. And you guys, as a combined household income of $90,000, when you're married, you would have access to that.
I just can't believe that because especially
Can't
being
believe that because of
being a
feelings.
woman in the United States.
Okay, well,
when
you're talking
you
abortion.
Present with I've actually had 2 abortions.
Okay.
But
He's just like cha-ching. This clip is gonna go viral.
Yeah.
when you're a woman in the United States and you have like a chronic health condition, you're more likely to go undiagnosed for 10 plus years.
Girl, you haven't signed up for health insurance to go to the doctor when you get it for free.
He's gonna like cause them to break up. You saw that moment where the
Yeah.
guy turns to her and he's like, well, I've been trying to encourage you to like, you know, get that done, you know, like he might be onto something there.
Olivia has texted me some additions to these clips. Says the fat woman on Financial Audit also told Caleb that he should give his employees their birthdays off and pointed out it was someone's birthday, so he's selfish for not giving him the day off. She said she works a job profit, and even I get my I think he meant nonprofit, and even I get my birthday off. Attempted gotcha that didn't work. And then said, in the last couple, even extreme libs in the comments hated them. They were like, she's a perpetual victim and she will never change.
I mean, that's kind of the universal response to the guests that he has on his show, and rightfully so. And yeah, it's
I remember the
beneficial
clip.
for both parties. Obviously, Caleb Hammer benefits from, you know, farming the clips of these people, and he knows the type that he's looking for.
I remember the
But-
clip of the lady being like, you should give your employees their birthdays off. He's like, bro, we're adults.
Really, the red pill in all of this is that a lot of people are either, you know, obese or, you know, in huge amounts of debt or in, you know, some cases poverty, simply because, or at least in large part because of their own choices. And the left largely is made up of people who believe that those people in those situations are merely disadvantaged. The system is built for them to fail. It's, it's something that's totally beyond their control.
It's
That's
learned
a comforting
helplessness, and they're excited about it.
to people that are temperamentally left wing. That is a comforting idea. And even though Caleb Hammer doesn't even talk about politics or his political beliefs, he is actually right-wing coded. Like, the people accusing him of that are ironically correct, even if he wouldn't state it that way.
Yeah. I think that might even be like something for me who, you know, given where you sit politically and where I sit politically, at least in comparison to like everybody else at the company, that might be the thing that separates me the most from like the left, given that I still think of myself as somebody who holds value in a lot of liberal principles, is like your life is your responsibility, and whatever happens to you, you know, you can blame the world around you, and you might even be like, there might even be actual accuracy there. There might be something that's not inherently all your fault that you can't, that you didn't cause. That doesn't matter. Like, your life is your responsibility, and when it comes down to it, you have to be the one that makes changes in your life. And I feel like that should be a universal principle. It shouldn't have a political bend to it at all. It should be like, this is adult coded. This is responsible adult coded, but apparently it's inherent to a political belief.
That's what makes you liberal, not leftist.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.